Hello, I'm George from Panouseris Yacht Charters, and today we are going to show you our Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 479 Luna Rossa. The layout of this yacht is 4 cabins and 4 heads. Before we proceed with the technical presentation of the yacht, let's have a quick look at the living spaces of the yacht.
Shining bright like a shine, dreaming high like the stars, dancing through without cloud. And every day we search a meaning, every cloud has silver lining. As long as you are still breathing, don't waste your time, keep fighting. And even if you drift and fall, look down up and still stand tall. Believe yourself and keep on running. Don't look back, stay dreaming.
So, let's start with the cabins. On the stern left cabin, we have all the master switches of the yacht. This black switch is the master switch for the yacht. This red switch is for the engine, and this for the service batteries. These switches must remain always on unless there is an emergency. This yellow fuse is the thermical fuse for the anchor winch. If you put too much pressure on the anchor winch, this fuse may trip. Under the beds of the front cabins, we can find the life jackets. Also, under the beds, there is the bow thruster with its battery and the switch. Now, let me show you how to operate the toilet. If you want to flush out while at the same time flushing in seawater, you need to turn the switch to the left and use the pump. If you just want to flush out, you need to turn the switch to the right and use the pump. In order to avoid any kind of blockage, you should not throw anything inside the bowl. The stern left toilet is also equipped with a black water tank. The switch is located under the sink. To operate the waste tank, you need to use the red valve. In this position, the valve is open. In order to use the waste tank, you need to turn the valve to the right. Now we are using the waste tank. To empty the waste tank, you need to turn the valve to its previous position. After you make your shower, in order to take the water out, you need to press this button once, and the pump will work for 20 seconds. If you need more, you need to press this button again. Under this side of the couch, we have the air condition unit and the water pump. Under here, we have the 1 fire extinguisher and the 2 VHF battery chargers. Inside here, we can find the first aid kit, the toolbox, the safety harnesses, and other necessary equipment. Here we have the 2 VHF battery chargers. If you go low on service batteries, you may hear an alarm coming from these 2 devices. In order to stop the alarm, you need to press the reset button on the device that is having the alarm, and then you will need to charge the service batteries. Also, under the chart table, you can find all the flares of the yacht. Here we have the inside plotter, the radio, and the electrical panel. About the plotter, we have the power button here. You can zoom in and zoom out from here, and you navigate through here. / About the radio, you can operate it also with Bluetooth and CD. Power button is here, volume button here, and source button here. On the left side of the panel, we have the 230 volts. When you are connected to the shore power, you see red light here and voltage indication here. Battery charger switch is here and AC outlets here and here. If you want to have hot water through the shore power cable, you need to turn this switch on and wait half an hour for the water to heat up. Then, before you make your shower, you need to close this switch. Otherwise, if you want hot water, you can also use the engine. On the right side of the panel, we have the 12 volts. This switch is for the cabin lights. This switch controls all the inside lights plus the shower drains in the toilets. Here we have a 12 volt adapter. If you want to start both fridges, you need to use this switch. This switch is an empty line. Here, if you want to operate the freshwater pump, you need to turn this switch on. When the freshwater pump works, you see green light here. Here we have the bilge pump. Automatic, manual. This switch is for the navigational instruments. This switch controls both plotters inside and out, plus all the instruments outside. Deck light, anchoring light, engine lights, sailing lights. Here we can see the indication for the diesel, the water, and the batteries. Also, we have light from this button. About the two VHFs, you need to operate only one at a time due to the fact that their antennas are very close up in the mast and the one will interfere with the other. To switch on the VHF, you press this button. Then you need to press the OK button here. To change the channels, you use this wheel. Volume here. To go directly to channel 16, you press this button, and the stress button is here. About the chart table. Inside here we can find the boat manuals, all the maps of the yacht, Greek Waters pilot, hand bearing compass, divider and parallel ruler, and the boat keys. This yacht is equipped with one air condition unit for the saloon area. The air condition works only with the shore power. Before you operate the air condition, please make sure that the voltage from the shore power is well above 210 volts. To operate the air condition, you switch it on from here. You can change the temperature from here, and the air condition will act accordingly in order to achieve the desired temperature. When the air condition works, you will need to see water coming out from the side of the yacht. Before you disconnect the shore power cable, make sure that the air condition unit has completely stopped. Cups, plates and glasses are located inside these lockers. Cutleries are inside here, cooking pans and casseroles inside here, while inside here we have the freshwater pump with the water tank selectors. Here we have the water tank selectors. Right now the upper selector, which is for the tank number 1, is open, while the tank number 2 is closed. In order to switch to tank number 2, first switch off the water pump from the panel, then close the first tank by turning the selector to the right. Afterwards, turn the lower switch to the left to open the second water tank. Finally, switch on the water pump and open a tap to take the air out of the system. You will need to use one tank at a time. Here we have the two fridge units. You can adjust the temperature from these two switches. Now let's go on to the kitchen. Here we have the 3 stoves. To switch them on, you need to press inside, turn to the left, keep it for a few seconds to warm up. The same applies to the other ones. To switch them off, just return the switch to the first position. You can lock and unlock the door of the oven from here, and the tilt from here. To open the oven with the flame on the top, you need to press the switch inside and turn to the right. You need to keep it for a few seconds to heat up. If you want the flame underneath, you need to close the top, press inside, turn to the left, and use the lighter. You can either have the flame on the top or the bottom, not both at the same time. The gas valve is located under the kitchen inside this locker. In this position, the gas valve is on. If you want to switch it off, just turn it to the right. Here we have the engine room. This yacht is equipped with a 55 horsepower Yanmar engine with sail drive and fixed blade propeller. The consumption of this engine is approximately 5 liters per hour at 2200 RPM. You can check the engine oil from the dipstick on the left and the cooling water from the plastic bottle above only when the engine is completely cold. Now let's start with the outside of the yacht. Let's start with the lockers. Inside here we have the life raft, the oars for the dinghy, the electricity cable with the spare connectors, and many spare ropes. On the other side we have the 5-liter unleaded fuel for the outboard, the second fire extinguisher, a plastic bucket, spare engine oil, 20 liters of spare diesel in case of emergency, bolt cutter, second anchor with 20 meters of chain, and the emergency tiller. When sailing, the back rails should be attached like this, and the gangway should be up and always tightened with 2 safety knots over the breaker. When you want to deploy the gangway, you need to untighten the 2 safety knots first, push down the rope to release from the breaker, and give a gentle push to the gangway. After you have set the gangway 20 meters higher from the dock, pull up the rope to apply the breaker and always make 2 safety knots over the breaker for security. About the platform should be operated only when the yacht is stationary. When you open the platform, no more than 2 people should be on it, and of course jumping is not allowed for security reasons. Also, when you open the platform, make sure that you have adequate distance from the dock. To open it, you need to open this locker here where the 2 gas bottles are located and take control of this rope. Disengage the safety pin and give a gentle push to the platform. Then control the rope till the platform goes completely down. When the platform reaches lower level, lock the rope in this position. To close it, just pull the rope and then put the pin back in place. The filling point for the diesel tank is located on the left side of the yacht. About the water tanks, the one filling point is located in the bow and the second one in the stern right. On the right side of the table we have the 2 switches for the cockpit lights and the 12-volt adapter. About the plotter, power button is right here. You can zoom in and zoom out from these 2 buttons, and you can navigate the cursor through here. Here we have the instruments of the yacht. On this display we can see the wind, the speed and the depth. The depth is measuring from the physical location of the sensor, which is under the hull. The draft of this yacht is 2.2 meters. You can change the display by pressing up or down from here. Here we have the autopilot. After you have set your course, you press auto to engage. You can go +1 degree or -1 from here, +10 or -10 from here. To stand by, you press this button. On this display, you can also see the position of the rudder. Now, let me show you about the engine. Before you start the engine, make sure that you have disconnected the shore power cable. To start the engine, you need to press the switch on button once and wait for the alarm. Then you press the top button. After the engine has started, make sure that water is coming out from the right side of the hull. To go neutral, you need to press this button inside and open the throttle. 1200 RPM is enough to charge your batteries. When you bring the lever to the middle, the pin goes out automatically. To plug in forward, first put the gear and then open the throttle. To go reverse, you need first to wait a few seconds for the revs to go down. Then I put the gear and then I open the throttle. When sailing, the gear must always be in neutral position. Now let me show you about the bow thruster. To switch on the bow thruster, you need to press the switch on button twice. To go right, to go left, to switch it off again, you press the switch off button once. About the bow thruster, you need to operate it 10 seconds continuously, then you make a small pause and use it again. Now, to stop the engine, we press the stop button continuously and then for 4 seconds the switch off button. About the anchor winch, this yacht has a 70 meters of chain and in the end there is a security rope. In order for the anchor winch to work, you need to have the engine running. The controller for the anchor winch is located inside this big locker, where you can also store the fenders and the dinghy when not in use. To go down, for the first few meters, you need to go slow. When the anchor is coming up, you need to go slow so that the anchor doesn't hit the hull. Also, when it's fully up, the chain must not be too tight. Also, when taking the chain up, the boat needs to go to the chain and not the other way around. When sailing, all the top hatches must remain shut in order to avoid any kind of damage caused to them by the Jeanneau seats and also to avoid water coming inside the yacht. To open the Jeanneau, you need to take control of the Jeanneau seat that it's in use, while at the same time releasing the roller of the Jeanneau slowly in order to avoid the Jeanneau from opening with too much force. To close the Jeanneau, you need to control the Jeanneau seats and pull the roller of the Jeanneau so that the Jeanneau goes tight inside. This yacht has a full button mainsail with 3 reefs. In order to open the mainsail, you need to open the cover from the front and all the way to the side. Also, you need to steer the yacht facing the wind. When you want to reef this mainsail, you need to lower the sail, then apply this rope to the reef that you want, pull up again the mainsail, and then tighten the back reefing line. Now, let me show you how to operate the outboard. Before you start the engine, make sure that these screws are tightened. To start the outboard, you need first to open the fuel from here. Open the choke when it's cold. We open the air vent and then we bring the gas to start position. Then we pull the cord out till we find resistance. Then we should pull it harder. When you start, close the choke. the propeller works automatically. So when I open the throttle, the propeller will start. Now, to switch off the outboard, you need to press this button till the motor stops. Then you will need to close the air vent tight so no water is coming in, and then close the fuel. This outboard is air cooled, so you won't see any water coming out of it. But in order for the outboard to operate properly, it needs to be inside the water, not outside in the deck. From all the Panouseris Yacht Charters team, thank you for watching our video. If you have any questions, we are more than happy to answer them. Let us know how you feel about our video in our social pages. We're looking forward into welcoming you on board.